Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Today, March the 17th, 2023 is a new day in history, not only for the island of Grenada, Calico and Petit Martinique, but for the world at large. The Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. Listen up. God can use you any day of the week, as long as you are meek. My eyes are powerful tools for learning. I use them every day to listen, to observe, and to take a closer look. So before I proceed, let us say the Lord's Prayer. Matthew chapter 9, chapter 6, verse 9 to 13. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, our sins, as we forgive those who has forgiven us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. We live in a dualistic world that hangs on our clotheslines with clothespins that fasten us to God's way or man's way, positivity or negativity. You decide, you make that decision. So if it is either love versus hate, light versus darkness, life versus death, joy versus sorrow, yes versus no, victory or defeat. We must make decisions every day. Scientists tell us that an adult make on the average 3,000 decisions every day. For instance, if you're listening to the international speech, you have chosen to spend your time to listen to it. The outfit that I'm wearing, I made that decision to wear it today. The years come and go. People come and go. Decisions remain. Move on. Parenting comes and goes. Responsibilities come and go. Decisions remain. Move on. Unfairness comes and goes. Relationships come and go. Decisions remain. Move on. Beginnings come and go. The moonlit sky come and go. Decisions remain. Move on. The raindrops come and go. The rainbow come and go. Decisions remain. Move on. Beginnings come and go. Endings come and go. Decisions remain. Move on. The raindrops, the birth of a new day, the death of a new day, fads and fashion, doubts and fears, smiles and frowns, sighs and moans, come and go. Decision remains. Move on. The lamppost remains, the rock remains, decisions remain, move on. The immortal soul remains, Christ remains. Revelation, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. In the beginning, Genesis 1:1, God created, God spoke, and it was done. God created for mankind air, water, land, mineral, metal, food, animal, and most of all, on the sixth day, he created man and gave man charge over the first 6 things I have already read. This morning when I woke up, I was greeted by the sunrise. I gazed, fastened to its splendid, spectacular solar splash against the peaceful Parthenon parade, mounting just like a game of hopscotch from 1 to 8. So did the sunset hop, bursting into the horizon, dazzling, penetrating, deep, wide, flaring, widening, in mixed summery colors of orange, tangerine, and tan. Tan paint. God's masterpiece, amazing across the sky, the splashing, dashing sun full of light and energy, gay, golden gray, electrifying, sanguine, tropical, beginning its morning chores for today. I am grateful to be alive and to exercise. I sing songs of praise to the Creator. My dad will say to his family, today happens to be his 100th birthday. He was a World War II veteran. Never let the sun rise on you. Today that lesson and advice support the universal truth of the Bible, God's forever faithfulness and love that continues to endure to all generations. A healthy brain, a healthy heart, eat right, pulsing, compelled today, Friday, March the 17th, 2023, St. Patty's celebration. Most of all, the celebration of Benjamin Elijah Edwards, a strong, young, vibrant Grenadian who fought in World War II, would have been 1 century years old today, had it not been for an error in repair of his retina. God guards justice, compel to scatter. About what matters, law plus order of God's displeasure, God's invisible attributes, God's eternal power, God's divine nature, compelled to forgive, betwixt and between, relax more daily, always, never hurry, stress under control, heart, brain health, normal, healthy rhythms, compelled to practice, functional diagnostic medicine, discard futile thinking, no surprise making, compelled to forgive, outraged, The news. Law invites order. Faith, attitude, thoughts. Our God controls. Orders from heaven. Neuro, bio, organic medicine. God has given to all his children life, freedom, fresh air, clean water, parents. This assembly plays music overtones. Our world is drowned in music. Will you dance if Jennifer asks you to dance? Human beings are at risk. New Age movement, New World Order, Pan-epidemic 2020, 5G, 5 generations, Pan-epidemic, 5G, the giant slayer of neurons. Think the Milky Way. Each of us are born with 1 billion neurons, but they can be easily dismantled and destroyed with drugs and 5G. Omni 321, red Omni batteries, blue radiation, Omni lights, law enforcement officials, pan-epidemic, carbon printing, pan-epidemic, global warming, pan-epidemic, winter, spring, summer, fall, from 2019, December, COVID-19, to the dwindling and ebb and flow of COVID-19. Nature, fall, forlorn, furled, pan-epidemic. Where is death's sting? Where is death's victory? The mask removed, the sun risen, given light and life. Deep, dark, dead depths. Plethora, magnitude of grief. Take courage, take heart, be alive, spark. The sun has risen, rising beyond the 11th and midday noontime, disturbing dead dust. Voice, dance. Heart, dance. Brainwave, dance. The ocean is the largest organic medicine in the ecosystem. Waves, dance. 60% of the oxygen we breathe comes from the major 8 reefs centered in our world. Waves, dance. Tropical Grenada music, mainly 2 seasons. The wet season, the latter part of the year, and the dry season, the first 6 months of the year. So you may guess, right now, Grenada, Carriacou, and Martinique, the tri-states, are experiencing the dry season. In the Northern Hemisphere, there are 2 seasons in Grenada, but there are 4 seasons in the Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere. The 4 seasons permeate your rooms inside out if you are living in a glass house in the Northern Hemisphere. Dappled shadows of the oak tree linger in the twilight of the afternoon setting sun. Glass reflection and shadow of the sun paint nature in hues of orange, yellow, blues, and tan. Photosynthesis processes and metamorphosis that favors the heart and brain of any man. Blue jays, hummingbirds, robins, sparrows, swallows, chickadees, still playing their tweeting tunes, while squirrels run, hop, climb, carouse. Dinners in the evening serenade a panorama view from the inside out. Glass transparency offers face integrity. Nature's music played in notes of C's and D's, humming and drumming. Steel bands, steel pans, new dimensions, notes, music plays in C's and D's. Our world here in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Northwest Seattle, Washington area, are dimpled with freckled fallen leaves from non-evergreen trees. Not so in the tri-states of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We have our evergreen trees all year round. The first one that we will be using here in Grenada, there are 5 of them, would be tamarind, eucalyptus rainbow, nutmeg. So nutmeg is a fruit, but it has 2 spices. So I refer to nutmeg as the king of spices. So we've got nutmeg seed and nutmeg mace. The other 2 evergreen trees are coconut. Coconut. Every part of the coconut is useful for life and living. The trunk is used for buildings that register still in use today on the island of Grenada. Thatch roof houses on the beach, bowls to display your fruits in season, summer Caribbean hats to shield you from too much sunlight if you are European descent, cocoa flecks to make your Easter kites, coconut shells used for burning clean fuel, fiber of the coconut for making dusting hand brooms, 4 different types of coconut meats: baby jelly, hard meat used in pastries, buns, pies, ice cream, snacks, our national dish, oil down, cakes, sugar cake, and much more. Coconut water contains the highest electrolytes in the world. Compared to Gatorade, coconut water is 10 times fortified. The coconut meat can be eaten in its raw stage as a snack for a quick serving of protein. The last stage of the coconut meat is called cupra. There is no water on the inside. Cupra is used for making coconut oil, which can be used for making soap also. We also use the coconut oil to make hair products, ointments, and preservatives. Lastly, clove. Clove is used to flavor any soup pot and any pumpkin cuisine. So we make conky. Be sure to put a little bit of ground clove. Sprinkle a little ground clove. It will bring out the flavor in the conky. If you make pumpkin pies, if you make pumpkin bread, be sure to sprinkle a little clove. So the acronym for the 5 evergreen trees that we will use in Grenada, at the Grenada Organic Pharmacy, to make all our organic medicine is 10 cc. T for tamarind, E for eucalyptus, N for nutmeg, its mace and its seed, C for coconut, and C for clove. Grenada will become a specialized home of apiculture. Yes, we will be raising bees in our backyards, bustle, bumblebees. We will feed them with medicinal lavender flowers and 30 fruit trees, pollinations of these fruit by our local fed bees. Honey in the rock from the birds and the bees of the Caribbean in the blue sky colored seas. Zigzag and crazy egg patterns of hopping and flinting, pollinating protein, servicing plant and flowers, fruits and veggies, beets, bats, bugs, and tiny ants in the ecosystem. This is what you would expect to see as we develop apiculture in Grenada. Wind and bees pollination for the birds and the bees, and natural honey for people and children 18 months and older. Grenada serve the world best with chocolate, cacao, cocoa, in chocolate slabs and powder form from our cocoa pods that are dried by the sunlight after they have been fermented. What makes our cocoa pods grade A+? 100% the best nesting. They gain their nutrients from the surrounding plants of nutmeg and banana trees. I will break here. When I get back, I will talk about the myth of polygenism and gradation. Thank you. Water. Thank you. Dr. Charles White lives or lived in England. His dad had an infirmary, a hospital in Manchester, England. Dr. Charles White did midwifery, so he was like a surgeon to deliver babies. He used his eyes to describe what he termed as gradation and white supremacy. So think of the acronym SHE, S-H-E, the pronoun. So he said that their skin tone was lighter, their eyes, or let's back up here, their hair color was silver, black, brown, and long. Their eyes, the color of their eyes were blue, green, gray, and brown. And there were two spots that he noticed that people from European descent had on their bodies. Around the areola of the breast, so he is working with women to deliver babies. And at the apex of the posterior, those were the two places he found dark spots. He said this in 1738. He set the gradation pattern for the world at large, claiming that if you are European descent, male, you're at the top of the ladder. If you are European descent and you are female, you are on the second tier of the ladder. If you were African descent or born in the tropics, African, West Indian, tropical weather, to the people who live there, they, the men in that category, were on the third rung of the ladder. And then all colored people in America, they refer to colored people as colored or black. That exists no longer here in the world because it was an error. It's a myth that we have lived with for over 300 years. Two problems arose for me as I studied organic medicine for 7 years. The sun is the largest organic medicine in the world. So what Dr. Charles White did not do, he did not do a meta-analysis where you have research of 30 to 40 groups doing the same study, or you have your peers, your colleagues, 20, 30, 40 of them take you to task when you do research to suggest to you, did you think of this before you come to a final conclusion and decision? Dr. Charles White had none of this. His observation from looking is what made him decide on gradation and polygenism. So today, I ask each of you listening to me, find space and room in your heart to forgive him for the wrong that he promoted to the world, giving them an understanding that the reason why they are colored or why they are called black is because they are inferior. This is wrong. So as of today, all history books must recall that polygenism, a negative word, gradation, negative word, white supremacy, negative word, must no longer be part of our textbook. When we refer to the human being, we must refer to them as European descent or melatonin rich. The reason why we have European descent with a lighter shade of color is because they don't see the sunlight for 4 months. And the reason why any descent from Europe, your father, your grandfather, and great-grandfather, wherever they were born, would determine the color of your skin, the length of your hair, and the color of your eyes. White supremacy is non-scientific. It's a myth that we must no longer live with. So, Dr. Charles White died a blind man after getting involved with an accident or horseback riding. First was his right eye that went blind, the occipital region at the back of his neck, and then the left side, the occipital region again, was blind. So he died a blind man and took all of us down for over 284 years to say that white supremacy exists. As of today, take a second note. People must not be described in colors. They must be described as melatonin rich or European descent. Enough said. Let us move on now, dare to lead. Because in order to be a leader, there are years of preparation. But this is what, if you are a true leader, these are some of the characteristic traits that you will possess. Dare to lead. Character and leadership modus operandi. This is the way you will operate every day. Foundational roots to excellent, visionary, world-class leader for the 21st century in Grenada. Let me introduce you to Miss True Blue Woman of the Year 2022. This True Blue Woman of the Year 2022, Anno Domina AD, in the year of the Lord, is an amazing woman. This woman is the CEO for International Science on Wheels. This woman is the CEO for the Little Medical School. This woman is a field biologist. This woman is an ironclad chef. This woman is the CEO of the Lily Pond. This woman specializes in communication disorders. This woman is bilingual, communicating in French, Spanish, and American Sign Language. An indefatigable woman, a resilient woman who followed her dream, a Renaissance woman, a bubbling brook woman with a zest for life. This woman is generous. This woman is the most charitable, extraordinary philanthropist. A woman with empathic ears. A woman with diligent hands. A woman with eyes of 20/20 vision at age 66. This woman was born in 1956. This woman was crowned Miss Nutmeg 1969. 56 years ago on February the 7th, 2023. An outstanding international athletic woman with curves and flat abs. 36, 26, 38. If you are a female, your waistline should be no more than 34 inches. If you are a male, your waistline should not be more than 40 inches. Your BMI for women, female, should not be more than 18 to 23. For male, 19 to 26. If you fall out of those categories, you are overweight or heading for a new diagnosis obesity. This woman is a godly woman with contentment. This true blue woman is an accomplished artist and leading scientist, a woman gifted with a creative mind. This woman is a mental health and wellness counselor. This woman is a minister of God's grace and peace. This woman romanced Grenada for half a century. This woman is a naturopathic diagnostician doctor. This woman is the one greatest poet of all times in subject matter, style, and dedication to literary goals. This woman is kind-hearted and compassionate. This woman cares. This woman has a joy that is independent of circumstances. This woman is William Beaumont, biomedical research scientist. This woman is a lifelong learner and educator. This woman is an eloquent writer, chosen in 2012 as Harvard Prospective Parent Letter for the Fuzzy Cheesecake recipient. This woman is the recipient of 7 scholarships in electro-neurodiagnostic studies. This true blue Grenadian woman is competent, orderly, dutiful, disciplined, deliberate, candid, altruistic, and well-tempered. This true blue Grenadian woman who is making Grenada the role model for premier goal medicine, affordable, sustainable, global healthcare with 5 evergreen trees, pure, clean Grenada, the tri-state, non-plastic, and non-smoking communities. Effective March the 15th, there will be absolutely no smoking of tobacco, vaping, use of non-smoking cigarette, electronic cigarettes in public places and in public property on the tri-state island of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Smoking is a health risk to every resident on the island. The first offense of anyone smoking in public, if not caught on tape and someone report them, that person's first offense will be to pay $200 EC on the spot. Second offense, 7 days in jail. If not a Grenadian citizen by birth, and you are just a law offender, you will be deported to your country of origin. Organic medicine before the first quarter of the 1st century. This true blue woman is the biomedical research science of William Beaumont Hospital. Smoking foul, poisons, or toxins, as indicated by the traveling experience that you can have at Auckland University School of Medicine from NIH. They list cocaine, marijuana, tobacco as poisonous or toxins. These must not be brought to the island for any reason. Anyone in possession of them, traveling with them, will no longer be allowed to do so, given our new magazine that will be made by the Grenada Tourist Association. No tobacco products will be brought to the island. In conclusion, one more warning on why there will be no marijuana grown on the island. Instead, we will have lavender seeds, medicinal seeds. We will raise bees to produce honey instead, because marijuana destroys your neurons. The frontal part of your neurons are completely destroyed, that you are left to be a dadai, an imbecile, walking with your head down. You cannot make any executive disorders. That billion neurons that you were born with, it will wipe away your frontal neuron, your temporal neurons, and the center of your head, we have 4 lobes. So you would end up with frontal temporal lobar disease, neural disorder, Alzheimer's, early Alzheimer's. Most of all, you will have like a foggy brain, but the fatal part of it is that you will be cutting your life 10 years younger. So pure clean Grenada means that we will clean up our reefs, because 60% of the oxygen that we breathe comes from the reef. The sun is the largest organic medicine in the world. I will take a break and read to you what the sun can do for each of you. If you are in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, Grenada Gold. Here at the Grenada Produce Chemist Laboratory will make what I refer to as Grenada Gold Dust, to include 12 supplements that will be in 1 capsule. It will be sublingual. You can just put it under your tongue, it will dissolve. So there will be no need in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere to take flu shots. Just 1 of Grenada Gold Dust a day will give you the right amount of the essential vitamins that you need. Vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D, the hormone, and most of all, calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. So there will be no need to take 12 pills as opposed to taking a capsule. And it is for any adult between the ages of 21 to 100 and plus. I thank you. I will be back.